Today we're going to talk about business model canvas for solopreneurs. Know if you can hear me. All right. Hi, Laura. This is a really impromptu live. I'm actually sitting in my car. The car is parked somewhere, and I just feel like because I was working on this, and I just decided to just go live. So it's really impromptu. There's no announcement. There's no email sent to any parties at all. So yeah, let's keep it really, really quick and informative. Hello, confused Dayton. Thank you for joining. We'll let more people come in before I start. As I said, it's really impromptu. And as you can see, I'm inside my car. The car is parked somewhere. Yeah, and I just decided to do up something. Can you hear me? Is the audio working? Because I didn't manage to do any testing before this. Okay. Let me know if you can or cannot hear me. All right. Okay. Right. So um this came up I think over the weekend last week or towards the end of last week, someone emailed me because I sell one of my most popular Notion template is the business model canvas template. Right. So last week someone emailed me asking me about this BMC. So and then I realized that it's been a while since I take a look at my BMC. Right. So I went in and take a look at the template and messed around. And then I realized that I could do business model canvas for solopreneurs, right? So if for those of you who are not very clear about the BMC, essentially it's a tool, it's a strategic management tool developed. I forgot the name of the person. I'll put it in the post. Right. So but it's purely for developed for companies, right? So and what I want to do is I actually did a mapping, right? And then a full breakdown of BMC purely for solopreneurs, right? So generic solopreneurs, right? So solopreneurs creating digital products, solopreneurs, one person business running their own businesses, right? Be it online, be it services or digital product. Right. So yeah, so I did this very quick chart using AI as well. Of course the inputs are from me, right? So let's look at all the components. Right. So the first portion is the customer. Okay, let us go by the numbers, right? So number one is key partners. Essentially, these are platforms, tools, collaborators, and affiliates that extend your reach without adding headcounts, right? So these are key partners, right? They are not vendors, they are not suppliers. Essentially, they are partners that make you do more, right? So usually, key partners are also entities that have it's either they are solopreneurs themselves or they are a company by themselves, right? Okay, and then you have two key activities. What are the key activities? What you do every day, every week to keep the business running, right? For most of us in Substack is publishing, building, selling, delivering, right? So particularly for me, I'm always creating new digital products and then delivering the services and the products as well, right? Recently I do a bit of AI training for local corporate companies, right? So that is also part of my key activities currently, right? If it's not on this list, it's not worth your time. So this is something that I want to keep emphasize, right? So if it's not part of your list, whatever tasks that you have in your to-do list, they are probably not as important as you thought they are. Okay. And then you have value propositions. All right. So specific outcome you deliver. What problems do you solve? Right. So this is the the thing that we always talk about in even in Substack, right? We always talk about solving your target audience's problem, right? You can also start by solving your own problem as well. Okay, so keep it short, keep it very, very concise, right? So I also offer something here. A clear answer to the question that we reader asked is, why should I pay you? Okay, so think of that. What's your value proposition, right? What are the actual problems that you're solving for your clients? Right? And then you have the customer relationships, right? How do you build trust? How do you move people from free to pay, right? How do you engage with them? How do you keep them once they buy, right? So there's a customer retention, right? So stuff like email sequences, engagements, onboarding, retention, all these are your entire relationship with your client, right? Don't treat a client like a transaction, right? Because when you treat a client like a transaction, then it's a one-off, right? So, uh, especially if you are building a community in Substack, right? So you must focus on creating and maintaining a relationship with all your clients, right? You can also think of it doesn't matter whether they are paid or they are free subscribers. You should look at them as one whole, right? Okay, and definitely customer segment. Who do you serve, right? What is their specific problem, their goal, and what stage they are at when they find you? This is very, very important because a lot of times we do not segregate the clients by just the stages they are at. I'll talk more later on the stages, but it is very important to know whether they are whether they are your target audience, are they actually ready to look at what you have to offer, right? There are people who has a problem, but they do not know that they have a problem, right? So you need to look for the target audience who has that specific problem, and yet they know that they have the problem and they are looking for a solution, right? So you have to look for this target group, right? Which can be anyone in your target audience, but they are not in the correct stage they are in, right? So, and then definitely one person with one problem, right? So we always say be very specific. You look for one target audience, and then you solve one problem. So this is very important. Okay, define these ones and then review it quarterly, right? And then next is the key resources, right? What are your actual assets that you have? Your audience, right? I classify email list as a key resource, right? Your content library, what do you have in your content library? What do you have in your resource library? Right? Core frameworks, tools, skills, and reputation, right? So all these are very important. Your personal leverage, things that you lose sleep over if they disappear tomorrow. This is very important. So classify all these under your key resources, right? And then, of course, the channel. How do you reach? How do you do outreach? How do you reach to your target audience with the correct stage, right? So, for many of you who are in Substack, that naturally you'll be a Substack newsletter, right? If you are also active in social media, that will be your channel as well, right? And then, if you have SEO, if you have communities, yes, by all means, use that. For me, I also have referrals inside my Gumroad, so that would be another avenue of my channels. Right. So the advice here is one primary channel for creation, two or three for distribution. Right. For me personally, I have For social media, I am only active in Threads, okay, and then of course Substack, right? So at the moment, these are my two main channels, right? More is not better, definitely. Okay, you will want to stick to one social media if you are keen to run a social media, but more doesn't mean better, right? So stick to one initially, right? Once you are comfortable, so for example, you will say, oh, you might think that you want to start with LinkedIn, right? So maintain LinkedIn, okay, and then stick to LinkedIn for a while, at least 6 months to 9 months, right? Don't think of, oh, it's not working here, let me jump on to the next one. It doesn't work that way, right? So that's very important. Okay, and then second last is cost structure. What you spend to operate. Okay, all your subscriptions, for all your AIs, your tools. Okay, even if you are running ads, all right, just put all the cost structure here. All right, a Solopreneur's cost structure should fit a single page, right? So keep it simple but yet concise. Okay, don't miss anything. It's very important for you to have a good overview of what you have, right? And then your revenue streams, right? So how does the money come in? Be it the Substack subscription, all right? Be it the sales of digital product, be it you doing consultancy, be it you conducting workshops, or you actually running affiliate marketing for other products. These are all the revenue streams that you must consolidate and put here. Okay. And then every income source map in one place. All right. So, and then you map them correctly to the correct channels. Okay. And then the goal isn't to maximize stream, but to know exactly which one is working and which one is not working. All right. So this is the reason. Okay. And then do analytics as well. Okay. And then once you are done with all your 9 blocks, okay, you put them down in your business model canvas, your BMC for solopreneurs, your own solopreneur BMC, and then you have a quick look at everything. And then in the next live, I will show you on how to do analysis on your BMC. And then if you have any questions, feel free to ping me in the DM me, and then I will answer you as much as I can. All right, so that's all for now. Before I go off, do you have any questions? I might. Hi to you. Thanks for dropping by. All right. So if you have any questions, do feel free to ask me. Okay. And then if you don't ask here, I ask in the DM, and then I'll answer you as much as I can. This is the BMC is part of my latest Solopreneur system series that I will combine them together in that eventually. All right, so over at Solopreneur Code, you can see all the my latest post is the one on my Solopreneur system. All right, so I'm writing a Solopreneur system series which comprises of about 18 to 20 posts, right, in which I will share all the systems that I built over the years, how I built them, why I built them that way, and then I also include a section to teach you how to build your own, right? So it doesn't matter what platform you're using, it doesn't matter what tools you're using. What I'm teaching is the generic fundamentals on how you should build your system and optimize them, right? So so this BMC will align with them nicely because the BMC talks about the overview of the business, and then also talk about the tools and systems involved, right? And then my software systems will pack in together, align them properly, nicely together, and then this will go on for the next 2 to 3 months, and then hopefully you stay with me in this journey, and then um, um, almost everything is free. I just subscribe, and then you'll see the entire system turning up in your inboxes. All right. If everything, no questions. All right. That's all for today. I'll talk to you again in the next one. See ya.